Hello, and welcome to another issue of our APMG Midday Mentors program. I'm delighted to have with me today on the show probably one of the best known Lean IT experts, and Lean IT is the topic we're talking about today. Welcome, Niels Loader.
Thank you, Stephan.
Niels is the principal consultant of Quint in the Netherlands, and Quint is also a global company. Niels is a book author. We know each other for some time, and he is probably, for me, and that's why I'm saying this, the resource I would ask if I have any questions about Lean and Lean IT. So Niels, thanks for being here. Lean IT is a term that's around for quite some time. There is, in particular in IT, an established ecosystem of service management frameworks, with a big one like ITIL and some smaller ones around that, because it has brought order into a chaotic IT and at least try to solve a few things. Why do I need Lean? Why do I need Lean IT?
A great question. Well, if you allow me just a second to put it into context, you're talking about the chaos. Yes, there was certainly chaos within IT. I think we've managed to iron out some of the bits. But where does that chaos come from? Well, it comes from the evolution of our industry, and it really starts with all industries start in a kind of artisan phase where people are trying things out, testing things, and really for IT that started in just after the Second World War and probably went on through to the 70s. And then you see the IT organization or industry actually evolving into a what we call the mass production phase, which is where we are defining from the inside out of the organization what are the products and services that our customers should use. So you're getting the IBM PC coming out. And one of the things we try and do in that phase is structure stuff. And this is where you see things like ITIL coming out, creating standards of what we do within an IT organization. And in that respect, ITIL is still valid and still important because it describes what actually happens. We solve incidents, we solve problems, we carry out changes, we do planning, various things. The problem is that we then get this explosion in demand, and this causes our whole industry to have to move from being kind of inside out, us telling the world what you need to have, to the world telling us, hey, this is what we need from you. And that requires a different way of working. And this is where we move from a mass production way of working, which is focused around specialization and coordination, into a mass customization world. Another term for mass customization is simply lean production. So really, Lean IT is us moving into the lean production phase of our industry. And this is why we need a new way of working. Again, what we do stays the same. We still solve incidents. We still carry out changes. We still do planning. We still need service levels. But we need to do things differently now.
Yeah, and the evolution of industries, that's also something you always bring to people, to their minds, when you do your trainings, because you're also a trainer. I forgot to mention that.
Yep.
You're a book author. I said so. Yeah, there's a book here which is called The Lean IT Expert.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is a good collateral for the Lean IT certification. If somebody wants to go beyond the training material, beyond the training, and have a read, this is a good read for that. When I looked at this book, it's a lot about transformation. Lean is about transformation. And I found something as a quote, which is basically going throughout the book, and that is, if there's a problem, solve it. What does it mean?
Well, really what it means, the thing I like about Lean is it in fact, when you bring it down to the basics, it's very simple. It's about continuous improvement. It's about making sure that you know where you are now, and that you take steps to improve. Really, the use of the word problem. A problem is simply describing that there's a gap between where you are now and where you need to be. Lean is really about identifying these problems, understanding the problems, and then solving them. And sometimes you can't.
But hang on. What kind of impact? I mean, we will have the service management framework. Yeah. Have brought a process model to IT, so that possibly everything is going through a process.
Mm-hmm.
But if lean, and I know lean is avoiding waste, it's continual improvement. How does that match with the process model, or how does it even question?
Well, in fact, it supports that process model in that lean relies very heavily on processes. The processes we prefer are what we call value streams, which are those end-to-end processes that start with the customer and end with the customer. But we also recognize that there are sub-processes in there which may help the primary value stream to actually deliver its value. So I think there's a huge compatibility between this process thinking that the models like ITIL brought in the 80s, 90s, and lean. It's a great way of combining the two. The key with lean is that it goes beyond that kind of thinking of specialization and coordination. What it does is it tries to create environments and organizations in which people are kind of free and autonomous to do the things that are necessary to satisfy customers and deliver them the value that they're looking for.
Well, lean is probably for an organization or for somebody who has to do transformation, the better way of telling how to do things, because we know ITIL always lacked that and always just said, okay, this is what I need to do, but go somewhere else if you want to know how you want to do this, or here's a good reference. Right. Lean also is, as a principle, can't just be tuned to one part of an organization. Is there such a thing like lean thinking? Yeah, and without that, you're not getting any further. Is that a true statement?
Yeah, I think it is. Lean is a set of principles, okay, and it teaches you how to think about the world, and this is what we mean when we transform the organization. Is in fact we're getting people to move from their current way of thinking, whatever that may be, into a way of thinking that is based around the lean principles. Lean principles being customer value, thinking in value streams and acting in value streams, ensuring your value streams are in flow, making sure you continuously improve. So once we can get people thinking in the same way, we can get them acting in the same way and getting them to improve. If you apply lean to a single area of your organization, you don't get the full benefits. Now, then it may seem strange. Well, why do we have lean IT? Because the IT is part of something larger, which is an organization, and that organization obviously needs to be lean as well. Well, this is where we see that lean, the lean principles are the same, but you need to apply those principles in a particular context. And the context of manufacturing, or the context of delivering a service, or flying an aeroplane, or delivering IT, they are slightly different and require a kind of tuning of the lean principles to make sure they work. But anybody who's done lean or within an IT organization will very, very quickly get to a point where they're saying, well, if only my business partners, my business colleagues would actually use lean as well, that would make life a lot easier. Okay, and we've seen this even within IT, in that we've had a bunch of people saying, well, let's apply lean principles to software development, and they called it agile. Okay, and then they suddenly realized that, well, we can apply lean principles to software development, which is great, but we need our colleagues to do the same thing. So colleagues over there, you guys, you need to do agile. You need to do the thing that we do so that we can work together properly. Well, fortunately, you can have an organization that works with agile, lean, and DevOps because they're all based around the same thing. They're all based around lean principles.
And that's the lean thinking.
Exactly.
Now, one last question I have for you, Niels, is when you're doing the trainings, there are several levels, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Starting from the foundation Kaizen and the leadership. Can you just give a brief overview of what is the best for people in an organization?
Yeah, so the Lean IT curriculum was actually built around the fact that we're trying to help organizations to transform. And when we help organizations transform, we need people to do things or to know things. So the Lean Foundation, as it says, is really there to basically ensure that everybody has the same fundamental knowledge of Lean. And then we need a couple of different kinds of people. We need leaders. We need leaders who think and act in a Lean kind of way, or a way that's compatible with Lean. This is why we have the Lean leadership training. We need people who are specialists in solving problems, or who know more about solving problems and can help others to solve problems. And that's usually 10 to 15% of the population. And they would then need to do the Lean Kaizen training. And obviously, there is also we need coaches in the organization, and this is something that's described in the book. What is the role of a Lean coach? But in the end, we actually do want our leaders to take over that role as Lean coach. So really, that's part of their job in making sure that the organization becomes a Lean organization.
Niels, many thanks, not just for that overview, but for the nice conversation we had about Lean IT. There are Lean IT trainings all over. Quint is one of the training providers APMG have on Lean IT. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, to the APMG International channel on YouTube. You also find a link to where you can purchase the book. Thank you very much, Niels.
Thank you, Stephan. Bye-bye.